Hello, everybody. This is Daniel Piatek coming in with Catherine Miller for day 2 of our 5-day Embodied Wisdom Challenge.
That's right. Don't shoot the messenger. Hi, everybody.
No! Don't shoot her! Don't shoot
It was
her!
really beautiful. We just were getting on and Daniel's in Spain and I'm here in Massachusetts, and the church bells were going off in both places. So we feel very divinely blessed right now to be on this Facebook Live with you.
Yeah, my church bells had fewer bells because it's 5 in the afternoon here, and you would have had 11 of them there, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Beautiful. Wow. I'm so excited today. We've gotten so many great comments and things from the all of you that are in this challenge together. So if you want to go, if you're having some difficulties, you want to go back and read the comments, it's great. It's a great way to help you understand your own experience better. And yeah, so basically today is all about listening. So we want to remind you, you can always go back to the first practice, the letting go, if things get a little murky or anything. Make sure to post your comments in the Facebook comments underneath this live video, and you can win prizes, which I will post later today in
Yay.
the group.
Yay, we like prizes.
We like prizes, yes. We like
Yeah.
giving prizes too. So I think, Daniel, do you want to, I think there were some things you wanted to share in terms of.
Yeah, I was just trying to get on to say hi to people on Facebook, and I kind of ran into a problem there. Maybe you could check it. We are live, so on Facebook. So welcome everybody. So today I'm gonna ask you to allow yourself to play today, because we're gonna start exploring a world which is actually familiar to all of us in different ways, but maybe not in the way that we're gonna start using this world, the world of imagination. So I'm going to invite you to come with the spirit of play, like a small child is just willing to play, just not really worried about getting it right. So it would be a young child. When the child starts getting older and cares what the other kids think, then starts to worry more about it. But a young child that's really just out doing her thing and not really caring about how well she's doing it. She's just doing it. So that kind of play, because we're going to explore the world of imagination. There's no doing it right or wrong. There's just doing it how you do it. So, so today is a day of play and learning how to listen to the body.
That's fantastic. It's really great. One of the things that you may have noticed is that if you want to hear someone or listen to someone, you need to care about that person, or you need to care about what they're going to say, and you will make an extra effort to understand if you really care. What we found, and I think probably what you're finding through doing this, is when you have an adversarial relationship to your body, it's very difficult to listen to it because you're already mad at it. You're already like, you're not doing what I want you to do. Why should I listen to you? Why should I listen to you? You're making me feel bad. You're making me look bad. And so you already have this kind of conflicted relationship. So you're like, just shut up and go away. Just do what you're supposed to do for once. And so what I'd like to do, that we often hear of objectification as like a bad thing, like we objectify our bodies and our bodies are objectified. But I'd like to use that in a positive way today. So for instance, you want us to kind of step outside instead of this being this big mush of, your body and your mind and you, whoever you are. Let's just say that you can kind of step back a little bit and look at yourself. And as Daniel mentioned, look at yourself as this small child. How would you respond to a child that's just playing and having a wonderful time and is just full of delight and wonder and laughing? And, you'd probably have a very like, wow, that's just beautiful. I love that. And, what if that small child was sitting on the curb, lost and crying and hurt, and you came upon it, and wouldn't you want to help it and find out where's its mother or father, where's its, why is it crying? Why are they hurt? Is there anything you can do to help them? We because of our conflicted and adversarial relationship with our bodies in general, we tend to ignore both those messages. We ignore when we're feeling pleasure, and we ignore when we're feeling pain. And to the point where we've completely forgotten that language, that we knew as a child. We've completely forgotten how to understand and interpret those feelings and those emotions and how to respond to them in a way that's appropriate. Like if you saw somebody going up to a small child on the side of the road and they're crying, and them smacking it and saying, "Shut up," that's in essence, that's kind of what we do with our bodies. We're like, their body's feeling bad, so we go and, do things that actually make it feel worse, but we don't really recognize that. So if we can start to draw those parallels and say, okay, how do I step outside and just imagine that this body that I'm in is a child that's trying to communicate with me. And this works even if you don't like children, so don't worry about that. We all have a kind of innate empathy, most of us anyways, have a kind of an innate empathy that, even if we've never had any real connection with children, you can still do this. As Daniel knows. So the idea is to remember that this child is speaking a language that you don't understand necessarily, but you want to understand it because you care about what happens to this child. You care about how it feels. You care about what it needs. And so you're going to focus on your body in that way. This is the most important shift in this practice, is going from an adversarial relationship to a caring one. And the best way to do that, as I said, is through this objectification, through kind of disconnecting yourself from your body and projecting it out there in the form of a child. So I hope that makes sense, because Daniel is now going to take you on the next stage of this journey.
Great. So we're gonna go in and start to play a little bit using our imagination to get to know this body that we're living in and how it's communicating to us. So again, I'm going to remind you that to just let go of any of this making any sense whatsoever at this point. So the rest of this challenge, we're going to be going in and helping you to make sense out of all of this. But
could I add a thing here too?
Yeah.
Is really, I know from the comments from yesterday that the normal impetus or normal desire is to want to fix everything. Right now, we're not trying to fix anything. We're trying to open up new dimensions of relationship and exploration.
Cool. So I hope I'm not going to get too sidetracked. Keep me from getting sidetracked.
Okay.
Because of what Catherine just said, that's a really good way to look at what this adversarial relationship looks like. Because we so quickly, something shows up in our body, particularly when it's a body issue, it shows up and we want to fix it. And basically, because we're talking about don't shoot the messenger, and we're suggesting that thing showing up is bringing a message and we want to just make it go away. We basically take something that's come to bring us something into something we want to get rid of. So yes, we want this to change. We get that, support that totally. But for what we're doing, we're teaching a step to go in between there, which is let's stop for a second, be interested in what this is rather than just trying to make it go away, fix it, make it go away. So with that kind of interest in what's going on, that kind of like you would with that child, interested, what's going on, right? What's happening here? And understanding that this child maybe speaks another language, Swahili or something that you don't understand. But if you listen enough, if you want to pay attention and help enough, you will figure it out. And so that's where we're starting today. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, and we're going to do a little bit of a journey, not specific to the situation that you are bringing in this challenge, but just to kind of go, because that will be what we're going to offer for you to do for the rest of today. But for now, we're going to go and introduce ourselves to this little child called your body. So close your eyes, and the tool we're going to use is imagination. So imagination uses all the tools that the physical body has, right? The senses of sight, smell, touch, taste, and feeling, sensation. But they just show up differently because it's not coming through our physical body. So I'm going to ask you to, in whatever way you can imagine, whatever way, see your body. Sense your body as this second person to you, like the little child that you see on the side of the road. See your body there in whatever way that is. Sense it. Maybe you don't see it, you sense it. And I want you to walk up slowly, carefully, lovingly, expressing love and care and desire to get to know, and go up and say hi to this thing, this being called your body. Notice what happens. Does the body reach out? Does the body pull back? Now you may see this, you may sense it, you may even get smells, taste. Your physical body that you're in right now may register little things, discomfort or pleasure. Just notice all of that. These are the hows. This is the language that this body that you're introducing yourself to is using to try to speak to you. I'm going to invite you to not worry about making any sense out of it, but just notice, sort of in essence, metaphorically speaking, the structure of the language that this body uses to communicate to you. Are you seeing things that you would say are visual? I'm not asking you to make sense out of them. Are you seeing anything that you would say is visual? And just notice that. Are you in essence hearing this body in some ways communicating to you? And again, don't worry about making any sense out of it. Do you feel? And we can feel words. You're leaving a lot of room to just kind of experience whatever you're experiencing there, because you've brought this interest to get to know this being called your body. And in whatever way feels right to you, feels true to you right then, express your desire to have a deep, loving relationship with this being. In whatever way that comes to you to express in this moment now. And whatever it is great. Just notice how you do this. Are you using words? Are you using your imaginal body to do this? Like a small child playing, you're just noticing this whole new world you've just discovered, this imagination in your mind. Beautiful. Now, we're going to come back and just know that you have just introduced yourself to your body and begun to communicate. As you come back, move your body, move your physical body, maybe open your eyes and come back here with us. And just know that, maybe you do this in different ways, and I'm sure some of you do, but you're opening up to a whole nother level of communication with your body that's not only physical, but is because it's not limited to physicalness. There's lots of ways that can be communicated. Something can be communicated to us in these senses of the imaginal that don't have the limitations that the physical body and that the rational mind have. So welcome to this new world. And like a small child who's learning something, know that it's going to feel confusing. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to want to be better at it. That's all normal, but just recognize that even though you're the age you are and have lived a lot of life, this is new, and allow yourself just the gift of the fact that you're learning something new and it won't feel comfortable. So thanks, everybody.
That was beautiful. I came out a little early to respond to a comment, but I had some amazing experiences as you walked us through that were completely not orchestrated by me in any way.
They weren't on the script?
They weren't on the script. No, they weren't. One of the things that's coming to me is that we're working on a deeper level of healing here. So each of these steps that we're taking you through over the next 5 days have unexpected consequences. So it's not like, okay, I'm going to magically heal, my knee or something else. It may happen, who knows? But I mean, that is not what we're trying to do here. We're not. I think if you look at the letting go practice that we did yesterday, in and of itself, that ability and capacity to let go and doing that over and over again in your day, like allowing things to be and allowing them to just giving yourself that space and switching tracks in your nervous system is healing on a deep level. Allowing yourself to go through this process today of listening and just learning, how is my body communicating with me? What are the messages? What form do they take? Without even trying to understand them, that in and of itself is opening up a pathway that is so healing right now in this immediate moment, not later at a future date, but right now. And so I'd like everybody to really pay attention to what's happening as you go through these practices and as you experiment with them and explore them. We don't have a particular end in sight for you. It's the actual doing of it that is the thing, if that makes sense. You're not doing it to get somewhere else. You're doing it to be in that place specifically, in that space of letting go, in that space of listening, for example. And then we'll continue this journey over the next 5 days, and each thing will build upon the other.
Yeah, beautiful. So I have a couple of things I want to add to that, but maybe we just want to say something about the challenge for today before we kind of go in, so that people that don't have time to listen to the whole thing can kind of. So
Great.
the challenge for today is basically to at least once, if not multiple times, is to just take time out from your day. I mean, it's a Sunday, so maybe you have a little more room in your day today, to take time and set time aside and do what it is that we just did. And you can come back and listen to this if you'd like, but it's pretty simple. It's just imagine yourself going up to this small little being that you care about to find out what it has to say, because you want to help. And that you're doing that with your body. Now, the thing that I would add, well, no, before I do that, is this is just about how, so you get to understand how this body communicates to you and how you register that communication. So I'm going to ask you to please don't put the burden on yourself of trying to understand this language that's still unfamiliar to you. We'll help you with that tomorrow. But just you want to start listening to what's the sound of this language, what's the visuals of this language, what's the tonality, to use that metaphor of language, of this language. How does it register to me? And just play with that today. And tomorrow we'll get into it, taking this deeper, but just really experience with that. So Carol liked your explanation. Catherine. So good. So the thing about more that I wanted to go into based on what Catherine was saying, and actually Carol, I read your thing today that helped me to think of this, which is this thing about letting go that Catherine talked about is really, really important um, because we're trying to continually clear our vision so that we can see what's right there to be shown to us. And so now we're going into this imaginal space where information can start to come, and tomorrow will help you to kind of make sense of what's coming. Today, just look at what's coming. And if we have our mind, if we're holding on too tightly about what the problem is or how the solution should be, this was why we talked yesterday about looking at these world of these things we already know, these things we already assume or have concluded about our situation. It's going to keep us from seeing that our body's trying to tell us something over here. But because we're so convinced that our problem is a certain thing. So Carol, I don't know that this applies to you specifically, so please don't hear this as a direct thing to you. But Carol's was interesting, and I just read it really quick, so I may get this wrong, is that, you know, Carol's dealing with something with her hearing and just the frustration, etc. I may get this wrong, Carol, I apologize. But so the first thing is to kind of just see that the frustration is there, see it, because otherwise it'll get in the way, just see it. And then just allow it to move aside for a little bit when you do these exercises, because the frustration will get in the way. But then also just be open to, okay, in the end, you may see that it's actually not the hearing. Solving the problem with the hearing may not be why it's come. So this is why there may be a whole nother thing happening in terms of your life that this is helping you to move to, that can be gained. It's not like this is the truth, but it can be gained as long as we don't hold on to, I want to fix my hearing. And I totally get that that's important. I'm not asking anybody to give up wanting resolution. That's not what I'm saying at all. But as long as we're holding on to it. So the example that came to me when Catherine was talking, kind of a simple example, but you're in traffic, you're driving, or you're a passenger in traffic, and you know, so traffic is really bad, right? But you're going there, you're going home, and traffic is really bad. But darn it, I'm gonna get home, and I'm gonna do it on this route. And traffic is really bad, but I want to get home, and da 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 da. Right? So we put ourselves in these situations. We're very limited. Like I want to get home, and I want to do it now, and I have to do it this way. That's an example, simple example of this world of what we already know, what the problem is, where I'm going to go, how I'm going to get there. But the thing is, we have GPS now. Get Google out and take a look and see what other routes are available. That's what we do when we touch into the imaginal. And the way that we're touching into the imaginal is using our body, and we'll explore this deeper tomorrow. So that the imaginal can become more kind of felt is kind of why. So this is really important. Why? Because as long as you sit there and you're gonna get home that way, you're gonna be sitting there a long time, because that's just what traffic is. And we're gonna teach you how to pull out the GPS that your body can bring that show you other routes. And you may actually realize that getting home, you know, like not only is there another route, but actually if you're not so convinced that you have to be home right now, there's a really other cool stop that you didn't know was there, that this route is going to take you to and give you a gift. That's what we're talking about here. So this is why it's important to keep coming back to this place of letting go.
I love that. That's fantastic.
That came to me when you were saying that. That image came to me. I thought, hey, I like that.
yeah, it's beautiful. That's really great. It gives me a really clear picture of again, you know, what we're trying to do here. And I think metaphors are a fantastic way. If you guys come up with your own metaphors or a better metaphor for, you know, what we're teaching here, we would love to hear it. You know, something that works for you. So that's another thing that you can share in the comments. Was there more that we need to tell them before we sign off, or?
Not that I can think, because that's why I wanted to kind of touch on really quick about about
Yeah,
what to do today, and then we'll send an
yeah,
email out. Catherine will send it out to later.
yeah.
Catherine, thank you for doing all that. Catherine's doing all the work to keep this going. Thank you very much. Um, and just that I really want to come back to inviting people to play. Let this be
Yes.
play, because it's so easy, because of so much training we have, to feel like we have to get in there and do it right, and just sort of see that, because that will be there in the way that it's always there in your life. Whatever that
Hmm.
looks like to you, it'll be there. It's just like, no, we're going to play for a little
Yeah.
bit. So, and just see what it is like to be communicating with your body using these imaginal senses. What's it like? What senses seem to kind of really speak? Am I seeing things? Am I feeling things? Am I sensing things? I don't even know what to
Yeah.
call it, but I'm getting something here. Cool. Just let it stay there, play with that, get familiar with this kind of territory, and we'll take the next step tomorrow. And please
Beautiful.
comment. I just really love, because I'm loving hearing from everybody, because it helps me to kind of know how to come here. But also, I'm just like, would encourage you to go back and read comments, because we're responding and there's these back and forth. And I think that people can, you might
Yeah.
learn a lot by just seeing what somebody else is kind of dealing with. So thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for
Absolutely.
being here with us, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And thanks for all the comments. We do check them. We've been checking, and responding to everybody. If we've missed you, call us out and tag us in your comment so that we make sure we don't miss you. So anyways, really lovely. I've been really enjoying this journey with you. Okay, we'll be back at 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, and look for an email later this afternoon. All right.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody.
Have fun playing today. Bye, everybody.